Friends, today is Friday, October 4, and we've been watching this week as Nehemiah, whose heart was broken at the situation in Jerusalem, got permission from King Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon, where he held an important position, then went back, did a private assessment of the problem, decided to start with the city walls, enlisted help, got that piece of it done. But that wasn't the only part of the problem of restoring the city. You know, your walls can protect from outside dangers, but what about the inside problems? And we're going to hear about those in Nehemiah 4, 1-4, 7 and 8, and 15. Now when Sanballat heard that the Israelites were building the wall, he was angry and greatly enraged, and he mocked the Jews. He said in the presence of his associates and of the army of Samaria, "What are these feeble Jews doing? Will they restore it by themselves? Will they offer sacrifice and finish it in a day? Will they revive the stones out of the heaps of rubbish, burn stones at that?" His friend, Tobiah the Ammonite, was beside him, and he said, "The stone wall they are building, any fox going up on it would break it down." And then the prayer from the Israelites. "Hear, O God, for we are despised. Turn their taunt back on their heads and give them over as plunder in a land of captivity." So that's the first way that we see the non-Israelites inside the city don't want the city walls restored and put into a position where Israelites could come back inside and repopulate the city. And so their first tactic is just to mock the effort. It's amazing to what extent, you know, derision and skepticism can sometimes be an acid that impacts motivation. But it doesn't work. The work goes on. And so the morale was not broken. And then they have a second tactic we see in verse 7. When Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabs and the Ammonites and the Ashdodites heard that the repairing of the wall of Jerusalem was going forward and the gaps were beginning to be closed, they were angry and they plotted together to come and fight against Jerusalem and to cause confusion. So some people inside the city and some people outside the city didn't want the city to become defensible. They decided they were going to come and fight. But when our enemies heard that their plot was known to us and that God had frustrated it, we all returned to the wall, each to his work. They paused the work. They got wind of the plot. They anticipated it after the mocking and despising didn't work. They thought direct action, and so they armed all of these different folks who were working on the wall. They put guards up, and they frustrated the idea of the sneak attack. And so it's interesting. Any good and great endeavor will attract criticism, right? Mocking, skepticism, and it will also sometimes attract direct opposition of some kind that we must deal with directly and openly. I wonder if you've ever faced opposition in a just cause and how you dealt with it. How did you deal with it? Let's take a moment and pray. Gracious God, your work of restoration is opposed by the forces of evil and darkness. Give us the courage to face the opposition with hope and with clarity. We ask it in your Son's great name. Amen.